from the airport, 2 a.m., and I left around 5:15. She was still here. And like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me, but she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well. And that's what really concerned a lot of people, is like, if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine, like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home and then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
Did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward. If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here.
In Colorado have issued an alert for a pregnant mother and her 2 young daughters. They were reported missing on Monday, and officials fear they could be in danger. NBC national correspondent Miguel Almaguer has that story.
I love you, girl.
I don't feel like this is even real right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from.
Chris Watts says he hasn't seen or heard from his wife Shanann, who is 15 weeks pregnant, and their 2 daughters since 5:15 on Monday morning when he left for work.
Knowing that if they could be in trouble, it's earth-shattering.
According to Watts, the couple had an emotional conversation early Monday morning, but he didn't elaborate. Watts says his wife returned home from a business trip around 2 a.m. Monday, and that he saw his 2 daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, on the baby monitor before he left the house.
I had texted her a few times and called her. I didn't get a response, which that was a little off. And then her friend Nicole showed up about a little after noon. I could see it on the doorbell camera. That's when I was just like, all right, something's not right. If she's not answering the door and she said the car was here, it's like, I gotta go home.
When Watts returned home, he said there was no sign of his family. His wife's car was still in the driveway.
Definitely hard for us to hear that she left her phone at home, her purse, her wallet, all of her money, her ID.
Police have now issued an endangered missing alert for the 3 family members due to the length of time that has passed and medical concerns with the missing children. Friends and family are desperately trying to reach the 34-year-old mother.
I said, Shanann, if you're checking your Facebook or Messenger, please let me know you're okay. I can't lose my best friend.
A mysterious disappearance, and now the search for a pregnant mother and her children. For today, Miguel Almaguer, NBC News. Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters, 3-year-old Celeste and 4-year-old Bella, vanished on Monday. Their startling disappearance triggering a statewide alert as police and the FBI focus on her home outside Denver, where she was last seen.
When I got home yesterday, it was like a ghost town. Like, she wasn't here. Kids weren't here. Like, I have no idea like where they went.
Chris Watts, Shanann's husband, says his wife, who's also 15 weeks pregnant, came home from a business trip at 2 a.m. Monday. The couple having an emotional conversation, he says, before he left home around 5 a.m. Watts says Shanann never returned text messages later that morning and never answered the door when her friend arrived at the home at noon. Watts says he knew something was wrong.
I was trying to get home as fast as I can. I was blowing through stoplights. I was blowing through everything, just trying to get home as fast as I can because none of this made sense.
Police who have searched the family home and area with dogs say for now there are no significant leads. The 34-year-old doting mother's car still in the garage.
She left her phone at home, her purse, her wallet, all of her money, her ID.
A mysterious disappearance, leaving a pregnant mother and her children gone without a trace.
Been missing since Monday morning.
And a lot of you have been very active on Facebook tonight, reposting family pictures and hope that someone out there saw something.
Denver 7's Thomas Hoppo live in Frederick tonight at the last place Shanann Watts was seen.
Well, this is the home of the Watts, where she was last seen by her husband at about 5 in the morning on Monday. Now, they had K-9 units here surveying the area and trying to get any scent of the woman or her daughters. But we spoke with the husband, Christopher, who says no one has heard from her.
They're doing their best right now to figure out, like, if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere.
On Monday night, Christopher Watts couldn't sleep.
No, I wasn't gonna kiss him to bed tonight. It was, that's why last night was just horrible.
His pregnant wife, Shanann, and 2 daughters, Celeste and Bella, went missing early Monday morning after Shanann came home from a business trip in Arizona.
I left around 5:15. She was still here.
Christopher tried calling her phone several times throughout the day with no answer, but when he got home on Monday, her purse, keys, and phone was left in the house.
She wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
On Tuesday, investigators spent the day trying to find any type of lead of where Chris's family may have gone. We asked Chris if there was anything that could have happened to where she could have left on her own.
Did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward.
As of now, Christopher is just looking for any way to speak to his wife and kids.
If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
So there are a lot of unanswered questions. Now, the Watts family do have a security footage on their doorknob, or their doorbell rather. There was actually no footage of her leaving the house, according to the husband. And police actually have been asking a bunch of neighbors in the area. According to the family, though, they have heard nothing or seen her leave. Reporting live in Frederick. Parents of this woman and her 2 daughters, Shanann, Celeste, and Bella Watts, have been missing for 2 days now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Mustin.
I'm Teresa Marchetta. We spoke to Shanann Watts' husband yesterday, an interview that has been watched more than 100,000 times so far. Listen.
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart.
Our team coverage of this case continues right now with Jacqueline Allen, who is live in Frederick, not far from where Shanann and the kids disappeared. Jacqueline?
We are at their entrance of their neighborhood right now, and police had been doing a checkpoint all afternoon. A couple of them here in their neighborhoods. They just closed those checkpoints down. They were handing out these flyers with pictures of Shanann and her 2 little girls, talking to people, trying to get some answers. Take a look at this video of the checkpoints that we shot. They just closed down just in the last 5 minutes, right before we're expecting this update to be made. Now, earlier this afternoon, police said there's a lot at stake here. We are exploring all avenues. We don't want to rule anything out, but they said that there was no threat to the public. Now, this was interesting. They did say what they stressed in that press conference was, we need your help. And looking at these checkpoints as a very visible example that police are trying to get answers from neighbors, from friends, from anyone who might have seen anything. Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski has been following this story all day today, talking to family, friends, and neighbors. And Jen, they tell you they all want the same thing.
Exactly, Jacqueline. They all want them to come home safe. Now, the Frederick Police Department says they are working around the clock on this case. Now, they say that they are aware of what has been out there and that federal agents and the CBI have now joined this search to help them in their investigation. Now, they know that there is a lot at stake and say they are doing everything they can to bring this pregnant mother and her 2 little girls home safe. Now, take a look at this video. This is what it looks like out in the neighborhood earlier this morning as detectives spent the morning canvassing the neighborhood. A newer community called Windham Hill. It's just west of I-25 on Highway 52 in Frederick. Officers spent time talking to neighbors face to face, searching for any clues as to why Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters, Cece and Bella, disappeared. In the last 2 hours, we learned a family friend is who first reported Watts missing. Frederick police say they were asked to do a welfare check at the family's home when that family friend couldn't get a hold of her on Monday afternoon. Now, as the days and hours pass, neighbors are trying to stay hopeful, hopeful Watts, who is 15 weeks pregnant and her 2 little girls, will come home safe.
We did admire them very much because they're a young family, and it's a beautiful thing to see these days. It just doesn't smell right to me. Something just doesn't add up to me, and it's disconcerting very much.
Now, we're told that FBI agents have already interviewed the husband, Chris, but investigative sources tell us that they're not convinced that they're getting the whole story from the husband. But as Jacqueline mentioned, what Frederick police have stressed is that they need you, the public's help. If you see Watts or have any information about this case, you are asked to call Frederick police. For now, we're live in Frederick. I'm Jennifer Kovaleski.
The disappearance of a pregnant Frederick woman and her 2 children has captured the nation's attention.
Shanann Watts and her 2 young daughters haven't been seen in the last 2 days. We have live team coverage of this case. Jacqueline Allen is in the neighborhood where there is an active investigation underway right now. Let's start, though, with Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski. Jen, what did you hear from police?
Teresa and Tom, in the last hour, here's what we've learned from investigators. They say a family friend is who first called to report Watts missing, and they went out to the house on a welfare call after they couldn't get a hold of her on Monday afternoon. In this Facebook video, Shanann Watts seems like a happy, loving mother of 2.
They always just seem like a normal family.
When I first heard about it, I thought, oh my goodness, no.
Police say Watts, who is 15 weeks pregnant, and her 2 daughters, Celeste, age 3, and Bella, age 4, haven't been seen since Monday morning, gone without a trace from the family's home in Frederick.
I lost a lot of sleep over it last night.
As the days and hours pass, neighbors are trying to stay hopeful. Hopeful this mom and her 2 little girls will come home.
She would take the kids to the pool, and Dad would always take them in a little wagon. We did admire them very much because they're a young family, and it's a beautiful thing to see these days.
Federal agents, along with the CBI, are now helping with the search. Frederick police were out canvassing the neighborhood again this morning.
I'm a worrywart for those babies.
Neighbor Mike Hendrickson is more than worried.
Oh, gosh, it just doesn't smell right.
He watched our interview with Shanann's husband, Chris, on Tuesday, where he told us no one, not even her family, can get a hold of her. And Shanann left without her purse, keys, or phone.
Did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back.
For now, everyone in this Frederick community wants them found and found safe.
Normal family. I can't believe that this has happened to them.
A lot of unanswered questions tonight. Now, we're told that FBI agents have already interviewed the husband, and investigative sources tell us that they're convinced there's more to this story than what the husband is saying. Meanwhile, Frederick police are out in the neighborhood right now, and they've set up checkpoints. That's where my colleague Jacqueline Allen is tonight, where, Jacqueline, they are handing out missing flyers for the woman.
They are doing it right now at a couple of different checkpoints here in the neighborhood where she lives. And you can see behind me, they're actually talking to this neighbor in this truck. I've been listening to them as they ask neighbors, have you seen this woman? Do you know this woman? This is a very visible effort on the part of Frederick police to make sure the word is out about Shanann, about what's going on here. We've got 2 officers standing here at this checkpoint. There are a couple of more officers at the next entrance down into the neighborhood. Obviously, they said, we want to leave no stone unturned. We don't want to rule anything out. This is their way of making sure that happens. They also said they will be canvassing this neighborhood, talking to neighbors face to face, trying to find out who saw anything, if anyone did, and if anyone has any answers about what happened to Shanann and these 2 beautiful girls. Neighbors I talked to say this is scary. They want some answers, but right now, all we have are a lot of questions. Reporting live, Jack.